Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers.
Coming up on today's program, there's a debate between the Republican candidates for Attorney General, Sigal Chattah and Tisha Black.
It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Liberals Steve Sisolak and Aaron Ford. Socialism out of control. Releasing violent criminals, special interests over our children, and crippling shutdowns on small businesses. It's time for a conservative approach. Republican Tisha Black. A mom who will put our kids first. A self-made businesswoman who will stop government overreach. And Tisha backs the blue. She'll get tough on crime. Tisha Black, the conservative choice for Attorney General.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, along with my co-moderator here, Victor Joecks from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. We welcome Sigal Chattah and Tisha Black, both attorneys, Republicans, and running for the office of Attorney General. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. Sigal, in light of the leak from the Supreme Court, if it comes to fruition, would you be in favor in statute of banning abortions? And if allowed, what restrictions would you be in favor of? This, of course, would be subject to a vote of the people or the legislature.
Well, in Nevada, we know that ballot question 3 in 1990 made it very clear that the right to choose to terminate a pregnancy is embedded in our Constitution. So really the Attorney General has no position or jurisdiction in that office, and what the office is irrelevant at that point.
My understanding is that it's in statute, not in the Constitution.
No, it's embedded in the Constitution. Ballot question 3 was embedded in the Constitution.
It can be changed by a vote of the people.
Correct.
It was a referendum.
Correct.
Right, it was a referendum, but it is in the Constitution.
Okay, so would you be in favor of changing it?
As a personal vote, I'm pro-life. So I would definitely, as somebody that is pro-life, I would definitely take the position that life begins at the time of fetal heartbeat. And really, the way I look at it is the same way that we do sentencing enhancements on unborn children and victims of unborn children. I would mirror it to that, and I have a problem with that inconsistency.
All right. So, Tisha, your thoughts?
I think I don't like to opine on opinions that haven't been published, but if the Supreme Court is heading in the direction that was leaked, which is obviously troublesome that we have leaks at the Supreme Court, I would agree that it's a states' rights issue. So I'm, as a constitutionalist, I think that question is properly left up to the citizens of each state to vote in their legislature, and we have. It is in our Constitution.
Okay, and you would not seek any changes?
I would not. I feel that the citizens have voted on it. I think that there are restrictions, fetal heartbeat science. There's a lot of considerations, but I think that topic in Nevada is decided.
All right, Victor?
Tisha, if elected, will your office defend government policies and programs that you personally disagree with? For instance, if you had been Attorney General when Governor Steve Sisolak shut down churches and businesses, would you have defended him in court?
No, I would not have defended him in court. I believe that was an overreach.
Sigal, same question to you. Would you defend programs that you personally disagree with?
No, I would not, and I think my track record actually has already established that I actually sued Sisolak and the Attorney General's office when it came down to treating places of worship differently from all of the businesses, and making that distinction between essential and non-essential, and mandates and unconstitutional mask mandates. I mean, I just filed my brief in the Ninth Circuit on Friday.
Okay, Tisha, would you be more interested as Attorney General, if you were elected, in taking care of the business of the state, or would you be looking more at a wish list of national issues?
I think one of the major problems with the AG's office today is it's a lack of leadership that is Nevada-centric. Attorney General Ford has spent a lot of time on DC platforms rather than Nevada platforms. I think there's a lot to be done in the state of Nevada in terms of soft on crime policies, government regulation. I think that the government really only has two things that it should be concerned with, which is protecting its citizenry and then basically getting out of the way.
Sigal, same question to you.
So police powers are left to the states under the 10th Amendment, and I agree that AG Ford has taken more of a national stance on what is good at the time nationally, and has failed to protect the people under whether it was enforcing police officers' rights. He took two national cases and domesticated them and created two pieces of legislation, essentially, that patterns and practices and Breonna Taylor, no-knock warrants, which were both completely obsolete, and really infused a national platform into Nevada.
Okay, Victor.
Sigal, after becoming Attorney General, Aaron Ford decided to retain private counsel to help with the state's opioid litigation. A selection firm eventually chose his old law firm. Do you think that was the right decision to retain private counsel, and would you continue to use private counsel if you're elected? So
the Attorney General's office has an obligation to mitigate the amount of expenses used on private counsel. This was clearly an abuse of that office, whether he stated that he abstained from that vote, but ultimately I think it created headlines, and it had a really bad effect and on the reputation of the Office of Attorney General. As an Attorney General, I would mitigate that and would use private law firms only on a necessary basis.
Thank you. Tisha, what would you do with the opioid litigation if elected?
I think we have a great mental wellness issue in the state. I think that our first responders, I think with the drug addiction settlement, I would use that towards creating mental wellness issues, and also use the money to go back to the state or go back to those communities that suffer the most through drug crime. I certainly, unlike my opponent, I've not ever been involved in crimes or defending criminals, so I'm not intimately aware of what happens in terms of drug abuse defense, but I know that there are a lot of people that suffer from drugs in our communities, and so I would want to use the money to go towards programs that help them.
So before I give Sigal a chance to respond, I just want to ask, would you continue to use the private counsel or decide once elected?
It depends. It depends on the issue involved, but the Attorney General office has 120 very capable attorneys. I think what is happening in the Attorney General's office is that it's a failure of leadership to direct them towards cases that are important to Nevada. Attorney General Ford has been representing Harvard, right? Using our resources here to support cases for Harvard, not our resources to support Nevada.
Okay, Sigal, do you want to rebut?
So my opponent is correct. I have been in criminal justice for 20 years. And as somebody that's been in criminal justice for 20 years, I am a huge proponent of diversionary programs like youth offender courts that really focuses on the fact that that people that should not be incarcerated aren't incarcerated. And as a part of the diversionary programs, whether it's mental health, I've had to deal with sending somebody out of state for dual diagnosis, including drug addiction, and dealing with these persons shouldn't be incarcerated. I'm a proponent of taking to jails that have been shut down, using them and converting them to long-term mental health facilities, because I know the lack of diversionary programs and lack of ability for the state to handle mental health in our system.
And that's time there. Did you want to respond?
Yeah, I think a lifetime of defending criminals sounds like soft on crime to me. So it's curious to me that you spend 20 years defending felony DUI. In fact, on your website, on her website, it says she wants to make felony DUI easier for the criminal. To me, it's unimaginable that you would spend 20 years as a criminal defense attorney undermining the police and wasting taxpayers' money, and then turn around and say you want to be the Attorney General.
And we are at time there. Do you want to respond?
Sure. My opponent has a fundamental issue with the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. She has called me a DUI attorney and cited three federal cases that I have dealt with white-collar crime. Everybody has the Sixth Amendment right to counsel, and to undermine defense attorneys is a huge problem, and demonstrates that she has a lack of understanding to be the top prosecutor and the top cop in the state.
Okay, do you want to respond?
I don't think I have a lack of understanding on what you've spent your life doing. It's being soft on crime. You've undermined the men and women in blue as a profession. And you've been, to your credit, very good at being a criminal defense attorney, but that is by its definition soft on crime. In terms of being a civil litigator recently, in the last 2 years, all of your cases you've lost. So,
do you want to respond?
Would you like me to address that?
Absolutely.
I prevailed in the Ninth Circuit on numerous cases. I have lost numerous cases in the Ninth Circuit, mostly to do with federal defense, criminal defense issues that are that do have issues with forfeiture, civil forfeiture, and things like that. To say that I've only done civil litigation for the past 2 years is wrong. I have been a civil defense attorney, along with a criminal defense attorney, for quite a few years.
Okay, and we're time there. Do you want a last word here?
Yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding here. I think it's the definition of prevail and successful. You lost the ballot initiative. You lost the mass mandate case. You lost the mass mandate case to such a degree, to grab the headline, that your client now suffers a lawsuit to pay the Clark County School District's $58,000 attorney's fees bill. So your definition of prevailing is my definition of losing.
Actually, we won Zamora. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Actually, we did win Zamora. The order that was signed was my order by the judge as the prevailing party. Jane, correct. AB 321 was struck down. The ballot initiative was struck down on AB 321, but on Zamora we prevailed. And the ballot initiative, I'm not Charles Schwab, and I'm not supposed to finance a ballot initiative. But I brought that win to the people and the proponents of that initiative.
Okay, let's do the last word here, because that gives everybody equal time here.
There was no win on either of those ballot initiatives. You're living in another universe.
That's just false.
That is really, really related to marketing. All of your cases are to grab headlines. You ran around the state saying that you were fighting Hillary Clinton's attorneys and show up in the 2nd district. It'll be fun. It's a small courthouse, but I'm going to win. And you had it handed to you. You had Democrat attorneys hand it to you. That's a loss. It's a losing litigator record.
Again,
Okay, go
all I
ahead.
could say is that people can go and look at the Zamora case. I've posted the order showing that we were the prevailing party. in
And
Zamora.
they should look at the case. And if you want to know more about Chattah, just go stopthechattah.com.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll go to other topics right after this timeout.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerhour, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Liberals Steve Sisolak and Aaron Ford. Socialism out of control. Releasing violent criminals, special interests over our children, and crippling shutdowns on small businesses. It's time for a conservative approach. Republican Tisha Black. A mom who will put our kids first. A self-made businesswoman who will stop government overreach. And Tisha backs the blue. She'll get tough on crime. Tisha Black, the conservative choice for Attorney General.
I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker. One of the things I love about the Carson Valley Inn here in beautiful downtown Minden is CV steak. I have eaten here so many times. Tell folks what they can expect when they come here to eat.
It's a beautiful room, great service. We have certified Angus beef, seafood, lamb, a great range of appetizers, and wonderful desserts. Jean-Michel's done a great job of selecting some beautiful wines for us. The customers love it, and we've got a great selection of cocktails as well. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Politicians, they hide behind commercials and social media, trying to act tough. A bunch of keyboard cowboys. They talk tough about immigration, but none of them have locked up or deported a single violent criminal. Not one. I've deported thousands. They closed schools, tied the hands of police, and wrecked our economy. I'm Joe Lombardo. I'm running for governor because we can do better. Nevada deserves better. Let's take our state back.
Joe Lombardo for governor.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue with our debate between Sigal Chattah and Tisha Black, both Republicans, both attorneys, and running for the office of Attorney General here in the great state of Nevada. Victor Joecks from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the opinion columnist, is helping me co-moderate the debate, and it's all up to you, sir.
Thank you. All right, Tisha, homelessness is a significant problem in Nevada's largest cities. Do local governments have the legal authority to displace and remove homeless encampments?
They do, by regulation. Like Clark County and a lot of the larger metropolitan areas have addressed the homelessness issue, and it's, as we all know, it's quite disruptive. I think, again, it relates back to a lot of overarching issues. I think the one sweep to mental health and wellness and also homelessness is not correct. I think we have to address that on many levels, not only crime, drug abuse, but also business, employment. And I think that the communities, the local communities and counties are smart to do that in the way that they feel is best.
Thank you. Sigal, same question to you about homelessness.
Yeah, the issue of homelessness is an issue that is left to the municipalities, and they absolutely have a right under their municipal codes to enforce laws and to remove homeless encampments.
Okay, next topic here, and we'll start with you, Sigal. If Steve Sisolak is reelected and you are elected to be Attorney General, how would you interact with him as governor?
I believe that I would have to represent the will of the people as the people's lawyer. As far as interact, what does that mean? I mean, if he exercises abusive powers, as we have seen, then I would definitely put him in his place and engage in whatever procedures that I can, unlike my opponent who supported him and fundraised and provided him $30,000, some of the money, at the height of COVID, so we know that she actually ratifies his actions.
Okay, Tisha?
That is a straight up lie. I've never given Steve Sisolak a dime in my life. I don't know if she is confusing me with maybe limited liability companies that I represent, or minority positions in LLCs that I am in, but I have never given Steve Sisolak, instructed him, known of, was related to a contribution to Steve Sisolak. Moreover, I think Sigal and Joey's camp did the same $30,000 statement to Sheriff Lombardo. So I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm sure she's going to elucidate us here, but $30,000 is once again another misrepresentation made by Sigal.
Okay, can we go back to the original question, though, please? And I will give you plenty of time to respond, Sigal.
Sure.
Yeah, so the original question was, if Steve Sisolak is reelected, how would, and you are fortunate enough to be elected as Attorney General, how would you interact with him as governor?
Well, I disagree wholeheartedly with the overreach, and mostly the fact that he has not made a decision, in my estimation, on his own. It's rather been California's decision that has been bastardized here into Nevada. I do think, however, that I couldn't, it's not productive to Nevada to spend 4 years bludgeoning somebody. I would work to find the areas that we can do the best for Nevada and work to promote those. But if he is doing things that I feel is overreach, then my job as top attorney in the state of Nevada is to prevent that from happening and ensure there's a proper separation of powers.
Okay, Sigal, you get to rebut.
Yeah, so Tisha is on the board of directors of Clear River LLC, which is a dispensary which donated 3 times, maxed out to Sisolak. One of those times was at the height of COVID, 2 months after we got out of World War Weed. Essentially, she is part of Clear River LLC. And like I said, when you contribute to a governor during the time when the whole state is falling, then that is a ratification of a governor's policy.
Okay, and that's time. Tisha,
So under that analogy, first of all, the board of directors of Clear River has no authority whatsoever to make any contribution, to any political contribution. That's not in the purview of that board's authority. But under that analogy, since I'm associated with a company, any company that I'm associated with now, I'm going to be tagged with the contribution to their political choices. That's absurd. If you've had a corn dog at Walt Disney, I guess that means you're woke.
Okay, let's take another break, and we'll come back and we'll continue this after this timeout.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years.
Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal gas station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
The Do It Right guys at Nevada Heating have one mission. Your air conditioner breaks down today. We fix it today. Why sweat for days while your air is down when Nevada Heating can get the job done today and you can get cool again? For nearly 50 years, locally owned Nevada Heating has been getting the job done right. Call today at 323-5585 or see us online at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have a debate going between Sigal Chattah and Tisha Black, both Republicans. They are running for Attorney General on the Republican side. They are both attorneys. And my question is this. And we'll start with you, Tisha. How hands-on would you plan to be in running the largest law firm in the state?
Extremely hands-on. That is what I do. I built a law firm in this state that is statewide. I've owned and operated it, built it from scratch for 23 years. I know what it is to build an infrastructure. I know what a budget is. I don't need this job. I want this job. I've built such a successful business that I could retire today. I don't know if my opponent could say that. And that is why I want to bring my particular skill set of governing law offices and managing caseloads and managing attorneys to the Attorney General's office so that I can get Nevada back on track. And
okay, and that's time there. Sigal, same question to you.
Like my opponent, I have built a law firm, and I wouldn't want to retire today. I enjoy practicing law. I enjoy litigation. Unlike my opponent, though, somebody who's built a law firm and is currently embroiled in a $3.5 million malpractice lawsuit gives me some concern.
25 years of practice, you do have one malpractice lawsuit. It's the cost of business, and it's attorneys like you that force those kind of suits.
I thought I was a DUI lawyer.
You
can't be a DUI lawyer and be soft on crime and then say that I'm a plaintiff's lawyer and I force lawsuits.
You are
like
a plaintiff's lawyer.
Okay, and what I would like to do is invite you both to come back and continue this discussion on the program.
I'm in.
This has been a thoughtful discussion. We appreciate it. Victor, thank you for coming up and co-moderating. And we will hope to have you both back on the show very soon.
Thank you
both very
Sam.
much.
All right.
And we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Politicians, they hide behind commercials and social media, trying to act tough. A bunch of keyboard cowboys. They talk tough about immigration, but none of them have locked up or deported a single violent criminal. Not one. I've deported thousands. They closed schools, tied the hands of police, and wrecked our economy. I'm Joe Lombardo. I'm running for governor because we can do better. Nevada deserves better. Let's take our state back.
Joe Lombardo for governor.
Liberals Steve Sisolak and Aaron Ford. Socialism out of control. Releasing violent criminals, special interests over our children, and crippling shutdowns on small businesses. It's time for a conservative approach. Republican Tisha Black. A mom who will put our kids first. A self-made businesswoman who will stop government overreach. And Tisha backs the blue. She'll get tough on crime. Tisha Black, the conservative choice for Attorney General.
Do you play golf? The Optimist Club of Reno is hosting the inaugural Ray Pezzanella Memorial Charity Golf Tournament on June 3rd at the Lake Course at Red Hawk Golf and Resort. For more information, go to pezgolf.org. Funds raised go to benefit local children's programs.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website, again, nevadanewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.